Was in Bitcoin. Was your salary a quantity of Bitcoin?
Well, as you said, we'll rebase every month, right?
But yeah, but that's not the same thing. If it was money, somebody would have to say, my salary is 1/10 of a Bitcoin, a month, and that's all I get. I get that Bitcoin, whether it's up or down. That's my salary. It's fixed in Bitcoin,
and it's still growing. Right?
Well, so Bitcoin has a price. I mean, there's no arguing that it has a price. But it has a price because people want to buy it, and because a lot of people who own it don't want to sell it because they think the price is going to keep going up. And if the price of gold goes down, they're going to buy more. If it goes, but in Bitcoin, nobody needs it, but people want it. But they want it because they think the price is going to go up. But the minute they stop believing the price is going to go up, then there's no reason to have it.
Let's talk about the future a little bit more.
Bitcoin undeniably has a price, but that doesn't mean it has underlying value. In his view, Bitcoin's high prices exist purely because people want to buy it, and because many current holders refuse to sell, expecting prices to rise even further. But according to Schiff, that expectation doesn't make Bitcoin valuable. It simply makes it speculative. He emphasizes that Bitcoin is not actually being used as money. Instead, he argues, it functions more like a collectible, something people accumulate under the belief that its rarity and popularity will make it worth more in the future. Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space, and drop your comments and observations in the comment section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
Bitcoin has a price. I mean, there's no arguing that it has a price. But it has a price because people want to buy it, and because a lot of people who own it don't want to sell it because they think the price is going to keep going up. So, but that doesn't mean that it has any underlying value just because it has a price, just because people are willing to speculate in it. But that's what Bitcoin is being used as. It's not being used as money. It's being used as a speculative digital asset. I mean, to me, people collect Bitcoin,
so I think
and they collect Bitcoin because they think the collection is going to be more valuable in the future.
So I think you have a very narrow definition of money, which is what you believe and what governments believe, right? So for example, if we ask the audience here, how many people believe Bitcoin is money? Well, let's see, right? So, but this is an unfair crowd.
Right, but you know,
this is an unfair crowd. But the point is, though, many people do recognize Bitcoin as money. Whether we call it money, how you define it, we can debate about that, the definitions of it.
Well, nothing is priced in Bitcoin, so it's not a unit of account. When
price is relative, though. Like, we can reverse calculate. Like the price of US dollars in Bitcoin is 0.00.
No, but that's like an exchange rate. But I'm talking about merchandise. People that are selling goods and services, which would include, labor. Nobody quotes wages or prices in a fixed quantity of Bitcoin, right? You're not going to, it doesn't happen anywhere. To the extent that even somebody was to get paid in Bitcoin, they would have a salary in dollars or in euros, and then when it came time to get paid, they would try to figure out how many Bitcoin they need to equal that number of dollars or number of euros. It's not a unit of account like money, and it's not being used as a medium of exchange. But most of the Bitcoin, it's like traded on Binance, and people gamble with it. They buy it and they sell it. They day trade it or they hodl it, but they're not using it. I mean, as a medium of exchange. It's not a unit of account, and it can't be a store of value because you can't store what you don't have.
Just because something's price is fluctuating doesn't mean you couldn't get paid for it. I got paid in salary in Bitcoin in 2014. So 11 years.
What was your salary?
Was like, I don't know, wasn't that high. It was like 100K-ish at that time.
No, you said it was in Bitcoin. Was your salary a quantity of Bitcoin?
Well, as you said, we'll rebase every month, right?
But yeah, but that's not the same thing. If it was money, somebody would have to say, my salary is 1/10 of a Bitcoin, a month, and that's all I get. I get that Bitcoin, whether it's up or down. That's my salary. It's fixed in Bitcoin.
I can actually show you a number of contracts that Binance has. We do it in Bitcoin, right? So, for example, one of the early investors or business partners that want to exit, we said, look, we're gonna give you this much money. You can take in US dollars or you can take in Bitcoin, and we fix the Bitcoin at that time, and we hold that.
Oh, you fixed the price.
We fixed in Bitcoin, and that person got a lot more Bitcoins over time. Oh,
Right.
the same number of Bitcoins, but Bitcoin's value went up.
Right.
And we still pay.
But that's a unique situation where you have somebody who wants Bitcoin as a Bitcoin investor, and they want to get.
Yeah, so
they're just.
it's a small
betting on-
number, but
yeah.
people do transact in Bitcoin as a unit. It happens.
Well, that's the
very-
exception, not the rule. The
And-
vast majority.
Yeah.
I mean, not almost all of the Bitcoin transactions are not to buy goods and services.
Yeah, yeah.
They are people buying and selling Bitcoin to each other without any work being done, without any goods being purchased. Right? It's just trading. That's all that's happening. Tokenized gold solves that problem because you can take the tokenized gold with you. But
the tokenized gold, I have to trust a third party.
all right, well,
Whereas
just find a trusted third party. I mean,
which I could, but Bitcoin, I don't have to do that. That's utility.
well, but then you have to trust something more. You have to trust that
I trust the technology.
people still want Bitcoin.
People-
Yes, you mentioned that there's a
So it's very
there's 21 million Bitcoin.
It's very
which
easy
is-
to trust
which
people
is
still.
yeah. All right, so there's 2.1 quadrillion satoshis, right? They're not that scarce when you express it that way, but there's a lot of satoshis out there. But yes, there is some maximum quantity of satoshis that are out there, but none of it matters if people don't want them. Look at the last few years, because Bitcoin today is 40%.
How many years have you been saying this, though?
Well, for a long time, right? But look, Bitcoin today is 40% lower priced in gold than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So over the past 4 years, since Bitcoin peaked,
Is that true?
yes,
I'm not sure if that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. When Bitcoin was 69,000 4 years ago, it bought 37.2 ounces of gold. Today, and I just checked before, it buys 22.15 ounces. So Bitcoin buys 40% fewer ounces of gold today than it did 4 years ago.
Gold did better than Bitcoin in the last 4 years.
4 years, a lot better.
How about 8 years?
No, but here, let me finish the point that I'm making. Right, over the last 4 years, think about what's happened in Bitcoin. First of all, we had all of the Bitcoin ETFs that got launched that didn't exist to buy Bitcoin. We got all these companies, copycat from Strategy, but we also have Strategy that borrowed $40 billion to buy Bitcoin, or issued stock and debt to buy $40 billion. But we had other crypto companies buying Bitcoin. We had ads at the Super Bowl. We had celebrity endorsements. We had the NFT craze. We had El Salvador. We had the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. We've had all of this money and hype and promotion, unprecedented. That's all anybody talks about. You go on financial news stations, every guest is talking about Bitcoin. Every commercial is Bitcoin or crypto. They're the biggest advertisers. They're the biggest donators to political campaigns.
So you're only talking about one failed exchange.
Right, but the price has gone down during all of this, with all of this promotion, all of this hype. It's gone down. And if Bitcoin has not been able to go up in 4 years, if it's lost 40% of its value in real terms, despite all of this, why would it go up in the future? It seems to me
Bitcoin
that
4 years ago was
it's
much
over.
lower value, though.
Huh?
Bitcoin 4 years ago was much lower value, just because.
No, it's down. It's down 40% in gold.
You're comparing to gold.
But if you're saying it's digital gold, then that's the best way to price it.
Well, no. If you compare two assets, you can pick any random time period. One asset will.
Well, I'm not random. I'm just picking the high from 4 years ago. But my point is, you had all of this hype. Why isn't Bitcoin? Look, you have Michael Saylor is coming out here. Bitcoin's going to be $10 million of Bitcoin. All right. Well, why isn't it there now? Why? I mean, if it's really that valuable, the market would adjust the price now. You can't just buy it. I mean, he acts like you just buy Bitcoin and you're guaranteed to make all this money. It's a sure thing. Go out, mortgage your house, bet the farm, borrow against your business, put everything you have, because he says it's a sure thing. Well, if it was a sure thing, the price would already be there.
Bitcoin can't truly be a store of value because, in his view, you can't store what doesn't have intrinsic worth. If the demand to speculate disappears, the value evaporates. When supporters point out that they've been paid salaries in Bitcoin or have used it in contracts, Schiff dismisses these as rare exceptions rather than the norm. And importantly, even in these cases, he notes that prices were still fixed in dollars, not Bitcoin.
Well, I just think the dollar will be worth less. The euro will be worth less. At the end, they keep printing them.
We agree on all of that.
Right,
Yeah.
but it does. But Bitcoin is irrelevant for that. Bitcoin's value is determined solely by the number of people who want to buy it versus the people who want to sell it, because there's no user for it. Like like with gold, there is real demand. There are people who need to buy gold and will always buy gold. And if the price of gold goes down, they're going to buy more. If it goes, but in Bitcoin, nobody needs it, but people want it. But they want it because they think the price is going to go up. But the minute they stop believing the price is going to go up, then there's no reason to have it.
Let's talk about the future a little bit more. The future generation, the younger kids.
Yes.
Do you think they will like Bitcoin more or gold more?
Well, they're going to like gold more because their friends will have lost a lot of money in Bitcoin. And there's one really good thing about young people.
How about your son?
But he's already sold his. But the good thing about losing a lot of money in Bitcoin when you're young, and is that when you're young and you lose your money, you have a whole lifetime to earn it back, and you have a lifetime to benefit from the experience of losing that money. So the good news for all the young people that are going to get wiped out in Bitcoin is that it will prevent you from losing more money in the future, right? Because when you're young, you don't have a lot of money to lose. But as you get older and you accumulate more, that's when it's more important not to lose your money. So this is a valuable lesson.
So Bitcoin went from no value in 2010 to 50 cents for the first Visa transaction to now 100,000, well, 90,000 right now.
Yeah.
How many people lost money on Bitcoin? How many people made money on Bitcoin?
Well, how many of the people who have their hands up have actually sold their Bitcoin and realized those gains?
A few.
Not that many. But look,
again, this is a different crowd, right? Obviously. Yeah,
but there's no disputing that the people who bought Bitcoin back then have made a tremendous amount of money. I mean, I know a lot of these people who have made hundreds of millions, billions.
So you know them?
Yes, a lot of them are my neighbors, but the reason they can afford to live in my neighborhood is because they sold a lot of Bitcoin. That's how come they can afford it. But the money that they made...
So a lot of people made a lot of money on Bitcoin that you know.
Yes, they got in early.
Okay.
The people who bought it over the last couple of years haven't made any money. These are the people who are losing the money that enabled the early buyers to make money. The people who are making money are cashing out. All Bitcoin does is enable a transfer of wealth from the people who buy Bitcoin to the people who sell it, right? When Bitcoin is created, there's no real wealth. We have like 20 million Bitcoin now that we didn't have 15 years ago. We're no better off because those Bitcoin exist. They don't actually do anything. But what has happened is some people have been enriched at the expense of other people. Now, the people who have lost a lot of money in Bitcoin don't even realize they've lost it yet, because they still have the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin still has a $93,000 price or whatever it is right now. And so they don't realize they've lost the money. But if they try to get out, that's when they're going to realize it's lost. Because if a large percentage of people who own Bitcoin want to get out of it, there is no market for it. The market will implode.
Finally, Schiff warns that young investors drawn into Bitcoin will likely lose money. But he frames this loss almost optimistically. Losing money young teaches a valuable life lesson. He argues that early losses prevent larger losses later in life, when financial mistakes can be much more devastating. Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space, and drop your comments and observations in the comment section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.